I want you to really hear this. A piece of digital text, a simple username on TikTok, made someone $18,000. Let that sink in. No business attached, no product, no followers. Just a sequence of letters that someone was smart enough to claim at the right time. This wasn't some Wall Street wizard or a tech genius with a 100-person team behind them. It was a person who understood one simple truth about the world we live in today. Attention is the currency, and where attention goes, value follows. They saw the digital land rush happening and didn't wait for an invitation to join. They just executed. They grabbed a username that felt valuable, something clean and simple, and they sat on it. They understood that as the platform grew, as more people and more brands flooded into the ecosystem, the demand for premium digital real estate would skyrocket. This isn't about luck, it's about foresight. It's about recognizing a pattern before it becomes obvious to everyone else. The person who sold this handle for 18 grand didn't have a secret formula. They had the hustle to claim something that cost $0, and the patience to wait for the market to catch up to their vision. That's the game. Think about it like this. In the 1800s, people rushed west to claim physical land. They knew that a piece of dirt would one day be the foundation for a home, a farm, or a city. Today, the rush is happening online. It's a land grab for usernames, for domain names, for digital identities across platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and X. These aren't just names, they are storefronts on the busiest streets in the world. The person who claimed the TikTok handle essentially claimed a prime piece of real estate on a digital Fifth Avenue before anyone else even knew the street was being built. That's the opportunity in front of you right now. The story isn't just about the money, it's about the mindset. It's proof that you don't need a huge investment or a fancy degree to win in this new economy. What you need is speed and awareness. You need to be paying attention to where the world is heading and be willing to act on your observations. While others were scrolling and consuming, this person was building an asset. They played the game differently. They saw a username not as a label for their personal account but as a tradable commodity, an asset with real-world value. And they were right. Let's get tactical. Why is a username like at Vintage Cars so damn valuable? Because it's digital real estate. Simple as that. A brand that sells classic car parts or a creator who restores old vehicles would kill for that handle. It gives them instant credibility. It tells the world exactly what they are about before anyone even sees their first video. When you own at Vintage Cars, you are the vintage car authority on that platform. It's clean, it's memorable, and it's an SEO goldmine within the app. People searching for vintage cars are going to find you first. It's a built-in marketing advantage that money can't easily replicate. This isn't a new concept, it's just happening on new platforms. Remember the .com boom? People who bought domains like cars.com or insurance.com for a few bucks became millionaires. The same principle applies here. A username is your brand's identity. It's the first thing a potential customer or follower sees. A clunky handle like at vintage_cars_1988 just doesn't hit the same. It looks amateur. It lacks authority. A premium single-word or two-word handle is the equivalent of having a flagship store in Times Square versus a kiosk in a suburban mall. It communicates trust, legitimacy, and market leadership. Think about the story of the 17-year-old who claimed the handle at Vintage Cars. He wasn't a car collector, he was just smart. He saw a trend and an empty plot of digital land. He claimed it. Later, a company that was serious about building a brand in that space came along. For them, paying thousands of dollars for that handle wasn't an expense. It was an investment. It was a shortcut to establishing the authority they needed. They were buying clarity and brand recognition. They were buying the ability to be found easily and remembered instantly. That is why they will pay. They're not just buying a name, they're buying a competitive edge. So, when you think about usernames, stop thinking about them as just a login. Start seeing them as assets. They are digital billboards, business cards, and brand identities all rolled into one. A great username reduces friction between a brand and its audience. It makes it easier to share, easier to tag, and easier to recall. In a world where every second of attention matters, that simplicity is everything. Brands understand this, and they are willing to pay a premium for it. Your job is to find those premium assets before they do. That's the arbitrage, that's the opportunity. Alright, you're hyped, I get it. But hype without action is nothing. So how do you actually find these valuable handles? First, you need to pick a niche. Don't just randomly search for words. Think about where the money is. Think about emerging industries and passionate communities. Categories like cars, crypto, fitness, finance, and wellness are gold mines. Think about specific high-value keywords within those niches. Words like luxury, capital, health, motors, AI, biohacking. These are terms that big brands and serious creators are built around. Your mission is to find the unclaimed combinations. Now you need the right tools for the hunt. The first one you should bookmark is namechecker.com. It's simple. You type in a potential username and it instantly shows you if that handle is available across dozens of platforms. This is your reconnaissance tool. Spend hours on it. Go down rabbit holes. Another essential set of tools are username trackers. Look for Telegram bots or sites like expiredhandle.com that monitor and announce when valuable handles become available because an account was deleted or banned. This is for the patient hunter, waiting for a big prize to drop back into the wild. Be ready to pounce the second it does. Once you have your niche and your tools, it's time to brainstorm. Think like a brand. What would a new crypto exchange want? Maybe at Crypto Wallet or at Digital Assets. What would a high-end fitness coach want? Maybe at Peak Performance or at Elite Fitness. Combine powerful keywords. Think about two-word phrases that are clean and professional. Also, don't sleep on domains. Use GoDaddy or Namecheap to see if the .com version of the handle is available. If you can snag both the TikTok handle and the matching .com domain, you've just massively increased the value of your asset. You're not just selling a handle, you're selling a complete brand package. The final step in this phase is to claim your territory. When you find an available high-value handle, don't hesitate. Create the account immediately. Secure it with a strong password and two-factor authentication. You can even use a service like beacons.ai to create a simple landing page for your new handle, making it look more professional and established. The key is speed. There are thousands of other people doing this. The difference between getting a 5-figure username and finding it's already taken is often a matter of minutes. So, do your research, find your target, and execute without blinking. Owning the asset is only half the battle. Now you have to monetize it. There are 3 primary ways to sell your valuable username, and you need to understand each one. The first and most direct method is outreach. Identify the brands, companies, or large creators in the niche your username represents. If you own at Luxury Realty, you should be making a list of the top 100 real estate brokerages in the country. Then you start sending DMs and emails. Be professional. Don't say, "Want to buy this?" Instead say, "I currently hold the brand asset at Luxury Realty and am exploring acquisition offers from established firms in the sector." The second path is using established marketplaces. Websites like PlayerUp, SwapD, and HandleFinder are digital flea markets for these kinds of assets. They act as a middleman, which provides a layer of security for both you and the buyer. You can list your username and set a price, and potential buyers can browse and make offers. This method is less direct but exposes your asset to a wider audience of people who are specifically looking to purchase handles. The platform will take a cut of the sale, but the security and visibility they provide is often worth the fee, especially when you're just starting out and building your reputation. The third and most insider-heavy option is leveraging private communities, particularly on platforms like Telegram. There are dedicated Telegram groups and channels where username traders, known as OG users, buy, sell, and trade handles. Getting into these groups can be tricky, as they are often private and require a referral. However, this is where many of the highest value deals happen, often away from the public eye. Networking is key here. You need to build trust and a good reputation within the community to be taken seriously. Start small, complete a few successful transactions on public marketplaces, and use that credibility to get access to the inner circles. Regardless of which method you choose, the negotiation is key. Never take the first offer. When a brand inquires, they have already decided they want it. Your job is to figure out how much it's worth to them. Don't be afraid to start with a high asking price. The worst they can say is no. Remember, you hold the leverage. You have the asset they need to elevate their brand. Be confident, be professional, and be patient. The right buyer will understand the value and will be willing to pay for it. This isn't a quick flip for a few $100s. It's a strategic sale of a premium digital asset. Let's wrap this up with the most important part. Execution. All the knowledge in the world means nothing if you don't act on it. But you have to act smart. The world of username trading has its risks, and you need to protect yourself. First rule: Always use a secure middleman or escrow service for any transaction. Never ever just hand over the account details and hope the other person sends the money. Services on marketplaces like Swapd will hold the buyer's funds in escrow and only release them to you once the buyer confirms they have successfully secured the account. This protects everyone involved. Second, secure your accounts like Fort Knox. This means using a unique, complex password for every single account you create. Don't reuse passwords, use a password manager to keep track of them. More importantly, enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, on every account without exception. This adds a critical layer of security that makes it much harder for someone to steal your asset before you even have a chance to sell it. If a hacker gets control of your account, your potential payday is gone forever. Don't be lazy. Secure your digital property. Third, document everything. When you make a sale, take screenshots of the agreement, the transaction confirmation from the escrow service, and the transfer of account ownership. Keep a clear record of the entire process. This documentation is your proof if any disputes arise later. It shows you acted in good faith and completed your end of the bargain. Being professional and meticulous isn't just about making a good impression, it's about protecting yourself and your business. Treat this like a real business, even if it's just a side hustle you're running from your phone. Your diligence will pay off. So here's the final punchline. Anyone can do this. I mean it. You don't need money. You don't need a massive following. You don't need to be a celebrity. You just need to be smart, fast, and willing to put in the work. The opportunity to claim valuable digital real estate for free is still here, but the window is closing every single day. Stop consuming and start building. Stop scrolling and start searching. Go find an undervalued username, claim it, and flip it. Your first $18,000 asset might be one search away. Now go execute.